Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, recently hit the headlines after purchasing the social media platform Twitter. While that news has been in the forefront, his asset is silently rendering important services in Ukraine. Viewers may note that just days after Russia launched its so-called special military operation in Ukraine, Musk announced on February 26th that his Starlink internet service had been activated in that country. Musk responded to a request by Ukrainian Vice Prime Minister MacLeod, who appealed on Twitter for the SpaceX CEO to help. At Elon Musk, while you try to colonize Mars, Russia try to occupy Ukraine. While your rockets successfully land from space, Russian rockets attack Ukrainian civil people, Fedorov said in February. We ask you to provide Ukraine with Starlink stations and to address sane Russians to stand. In this video, Defense Updates analyzes how Elon Musk's Starlink is continuing to play a critical role in Ukraine, thwarting Russian electronic attacks in its path. Let's get started. This video is sponsored by NordVPN. NordVPN is a premium VPN service available for macOS, iOS, Windows, and Android with more than 5,400 servers in 60 countries. But why use a VPN or virtual private network? VPN is an encrypted tunnel. A VPN can protect your privacy, which is threatened by many factors like data logging by internet service providers. It can also help you access contents which are blocked based on geolocation. Why NordVPN? Its servers are fast and has zero log policy. Not only this, NordVPN has taken one step further and recently introduced a new feature, threat protection. Threat protection prevents malware from getting on users' devices and blocks trackers, intrusive and malicious ads, and harmful websites. Use the link in the description to get up to 71% off the 2-year plan plus threat protection for no extra cost. At the checkout, use the code DEFENSE to get an extra month for free. Starlink is a satellite internet constellation operated by SpaceX, providing satellite internet across to most of the Earth. Musk's Starlink aims to sell internet connections to almost anyone on the planet by way of a growing network of private satellites orbiting overhead. As of April 2022, Starlink consists of over 2,100 mass-produced satellites. SpaceX describes the Starlink system as a high-speed, low-latency broadband internet option for users all over the world. There are plans that could see the number of satellites potentially reach 42,000 in the future. Instead of relying on fiber optic connections or 5G towers, Starlink connects users to satellites using transceivers that can be set up anywhere. Users can switch off a transceiver and take it with them. Users usually see download speeds between 100 megabits per second and 200 megabits per second, and latency that can be as low as 20 milliseconds. Over 10,000 Starlink terminals are currently in use in Ukraine, and each terminal can serve many users. More than $15 million has been spent by various stakeholders to provide the hardware and transport them to Ukraine. Lots of people are using the system. A Ukrainian soldier identified as Dima and based in the city of Dnipro had described Starlink's impact during an interview with journalist David Petrikarakis, noting the satellite-based broadband has made it more difficult for Russia to interfere with communication. I want to say one thing, Elon Musk's Starlink is what changed the war in Ukraine's favor. Russia went out of its way to blow up all our comms. Now they can't. Starlink works under Katyusha fire, under artillery fire. The soldiers said, according to Petrikarakis' Twitter thread detailing their interview. It was indicated that Starlink has played a key role in Ukraine's military operations, reportedly providing a connection for Ukrainian drones that are being used to target and destroy Russian tanks. A top Pentagon official praised Starlink's ability to resist Russian hacking and jamming efforts. Dave Tremper, the Director of Electronic Warfare for the Office of the Secretary of Defense, described how SpaceX's impeccable ability foiled the Russian endeavor to jam the Starlink satellite service in a bid to destroy Ukraine's internet connectivity. He told the C4ISRNet conference that Starlink countered the attack faster than the U.S. military would have been able to. We may remember Musk said on March 25th that Starlink had, at that point, resisted all hacking and jamming attempts. Tremper said that the day after reports of a Russian jamming attack emerged, Starlink had slung a line of code and fixed it, and suddenly the attack was not effective anymore. He said the countermeasure employed by Starlink was fantastic, adding, "How they did that was eye-watering for me." Tremper said the U.S. had a significant timeline to make those types of corrections, adding, "There's a really interesting case study to look at the agility that Starlink had and their ability to address the problem." He added, "In the way that Starlink was able to upgrade when a threat showed, we need to be able to have that agility." Director of the Russian space agency Roscosmos, Dmitry Rogozin, has warned that the Starlink space program, being pursued by Elon Musk's SpaceX, could pose a threat to Russian security. This discussion was in the context of the U.S. government having provided SpaceX with around $900 million for Starlink so far, with subsidies expected to reach approximately $20 billion under the next budget. Rogozin stated regarding the program, "The question arises, why does the U.S. government need this? Because this kind of spacecraft does not only distribute internet, but can become a tool for controlling cruise missiles, recalibrating their flight tasks mid-flight, controlling special forces, or an agent network." It's no secret that Starlink is designed to be robust, and SpaceX has already worked with the U.S. military. In 2019, tests by the United States Air Force Research Laboratory, AFRL, demonstrated a 610 megabit per second data link through Starlink to a Beechcraft C-12 Huron aircraft in flight. Additionally, in late 2019, the United States Air Force successfully tested a connection with Starlink on an AC-130 gunship. In 2020, the United States Air Force utilized Starlink in support of its Advanced Battlefield Management System during a live-fire exercise. They demonstrated Starlink connected to a variety of air and terrestrial assets, including the Boeing KC-135 Stratotanker. It's evident that Starlink is showing its potential, and not only has it prevented the Russian attempt of cutting the internet in Ukraine, but is actively playing a role in the Ukrainian military fight back.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the like button if you find the video interesting, and kindly provide your feedback in the comment section. This will help us improve.